Evil Planet.
Kids are losing their goddamn minds. Pogo stick on the roof. Anyways, all right. How's it going, folks? I think tryptamine is indisposed today, so it's just going to be myself and Gord talking about some random stuff to catch up with the last couple months of not being able to do the show. I actually want to quickly explain that, but before that, Gord, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good in the situation, just as a particular individual.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, tryptamine is AOL right now, running on all cinder blocks.
Tryptamine's AOL. He's AOL.
AWOL.
AWOL in the situation. So yeah, we haven't done a public episode in a couple months, and we've definitely had some points in time where we didn't do one of these for a hot minute, but I will quickly just say that it was because my computer was completely fucked. There were issues with it for a while, probably like general thermal issues and like a lot of dust buildup, just a lot of stuff, but I cleaned it. It seemed like it was fine. There was one point before that where there was like a power surge. I had to spend like $1,400 to recover this Samsung SSD that just completely shit the bed. Then I had to spend an additional like almost $1,200 to rehouse my PC. I got a new graphics card and a new case because the graphics card I had before just cooked itself to death.
Yeah,
and
nice.
Between having to like save up the money and being busy with other things, we just didn't get around to doing Evil Planet again until fairly recently. But you guys on the public feed probably didn't see the episode. You probably saw the announcement that we dropped a Patreon episode. We had been planning to talk about Idiocracy for a while. We finally managed to do it and got it out there. But this is the first public episode in a hot minute. And we have a lot of stuff to talk about. Yeah.
If you ever want to talk about any more movies, I found a couple movies that are what was that last movie I showed you? Mrs. Pennygrass or something?
Mrs. Doubtfire. No.
Mrs. Doubtfire, A History of Queerness.
Yeah, the political ramifications of Robin Williams' performance. No, I don't recall exactly what film it was.
It was like
let's definitely do that though. I'm down to do way more like film discussion episodes because those are fun.
Yeah, but those listening, you'll probably figure it out. It was like a movie about a woman with a gun in a bad neighborhood, but she dresses like super posh, super conservative, and apparently her just murdering people just makes her community better. It's a very very kind of chud coded movie.
That kind of sounds like that Uwe Boll movie that just came out with that disgrace actor Armie Hammer, where he's basically just going around like killing so-called immigrant criminals, and he's like, yes, and he's like lecturing them while he's doing it.
That's crazy.
And he's like a complete chud, and he just goes around like scolding immigrants before he like blows their heads smooth off. It's pretty crazy. It's kind of sounds like they're like sister films here or something.
Uwe Boll needs to go back to making Postal movies. He needs to remake his Postal movies.
He needs to make sequels to Far Cry. That's what I think he should spend his time doing.
Hell yeah. He just needs to be a video game movie director from now until the end of time.
Get him to adapt like really weird, like hentai visual novels.
He could adapt Sex with Hitler on Steam.
Yeah, we'll get him to do a live action adaptation of Otaku's Fantasy. That'll be a good one. I'm sure that won't get banned from half the countries in Europe, like Citizen Vigilante did. Anyways,
hey, so before we actually get to the stories, are there anything that you've heard in recent news that you want to touch on before?
I mean, to an extent, yeah, but like you can see the screen with the document on it, right?
Yeah, I can see the document. A long ass document.
Yeah, so if I like go through, like there's no way we can cover this in like even 2 or 3 episodes. Like this is probably going to end up like what I've collected. No. That's kind of what I was going to mention. So I've collected a ton of stuff for us to talk about, and we're going to basically have to just go through all of this and do episodes that cover certain things that are related or like cohere together as like episodes, you know. Like we're gonna have to do basically one whole episode just talking about what's going on with the war with Iran. Like it's
Yeah.
that is a fucking complete disaster. And as you can see here in the document where I have war with Iran updates, it just goes on and on and on. And the thing is
Yeah.
too, like so much of it is just like repetitive, like back and forth. Trump announces a ceasefire. Iran's like, what? Okay. And then they kind of like seem like they're working it out. And then they start fighting again. And that's happened like 3 times now or
Well,
4 times.
that's all just a way so he can mention that he's working towards a deal so that he can do like market manipulation
Yeah.
and
Straight
he can
market
profit off
manipulation.
of
Yeah.
it.
Did you
Yeah.
see actually? We'll just mention this now. Did you see that Iranian officials they're kind of trolling Trump and just Americans in general? I think there's basically been like several $billion made off the market manipulation
I think it
on
was like
Trump's end.
9 billion.
Yeah, and then Iran is like, okay, you got to give us at least like a couple billion of that. Like, come on, bro.
Seriously, you gotta give him a taste. If you're gonna, if you're not gonna cut in your partner, you know,
Ooh,
that is like really fucked up though. Apparently the Iranians have decided that there will be no more negotiations.
good.
Not with this administration because they just can't fucking trust them. We had a memorandum of understanding. That's not like a ceasefire. That's just a discussion to eventually have a ceasefire, right? Or am I wrong on that?
As far as I understand, it's basically yeah, but it's not nothing. Like it's
Yeah.
like you just said, it's clear at this point that the American officials like cannot be trusted.
Something I wanted to touch on before we got started, and this will take like 5 minutes. Did you see that Pete Hegseth, the head of the Department of War, is he Secretary of War technically now?
I
Not
guess,
Secretary of
yeah.
Defense. Yeah. So Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth decided, hey guys, I understand that some of your T levels are low.
Oh
So
yeah, I
if you're in
saw
the
that. Yeah.
military, yeah, if you're in the military and you want to get hooked on testosterone for the rest of your life, we'll do that for you.
So
And
are they just offering them like testosterone like hormone therapy?
yeah, basically. So they're offering them TRT, kind of like what RFK is on, but
Oh god.
some people have been speculating, and this is me putting my tinfoil hat on, that they're putting these guys on TRT to control them.
I was gonna say, yeah, like this just sounds to me like they're trying to chemically manipulate them, and like,
Yeah,
yeah,
this is like the Ketracel White in Deep Space Nine.
this is just fucking. I didn't realize that's what it was because when I heard about it, I thought it was like what Hegseth was doing with like no more fat people in the military. Like he just kind of
Yeah.
came out and like said that, and they're like, listen, we're not going to tolerate you guys being fat fucks anymore, even though Trump is the commander in chief and he's like completely out of shape, fat, old, like just like
Oh,
weak, like yeah, he's just like
he's
fucking
80.
yeah, but there's other 80-year-olds out there who are like still like fit, you know, got their
You
wits, you know what I mean?
you mean like
Like
Joe Biden?
oh yeah, perfect example. In fact, that's exactly who I was thinking of. He's sharp as a tack, that Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well, I think he's sharper than President Trump at this point. You know, hot take here.
maybe. I mean, I guess it depends on the day, right? And the time of day.
Right, yeah. But Trump is like up at like 3 a.m. uh posting, and he's
Yes.
sleeping all the time through press conferences and
Yeah, he's up
events
all
where
night
he's on
texting.
camera.
He's up all night texting fucking Marco Rubio with like plans and shit. Fucking Jared Kushner. And he's like on Truth Social posting all this shit until like 4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And then when he's in the press conference the next day, that's when he sleeps.
The wind burned her a little bit in the pool.
Oh, all right. Let's get started.
So yeah, there's some stuff we have to catch up on here that might be like old news at this point, even though it's not even like that old. But we never were able to talk about the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting. So if you remember, that was like one of the most odd, sus things that like has happened in the last several months. Like the shooter
Yeah,
kind of didn't appear to fire a single shot, even though they said he did. Maybe he did, but that's what I mean. A
they,
lot of the
they
details are super unclear.
they also released an AI video before the actual footage, which is already suspect. And if you look in the real footage, you can see him like you can see a guard, and he's walking with a dog, and he's walking through the doorway that the shooter would moments later he would be running through.
Yeah,
And that's suspicious to me. And this guy ran past like 5 to maybe 9 different security officers and or Secret Service or whatever,
yeah. The Secret
and they're
Service took
shooting
a
at him.
bullet due to friendly fire.
Yeah, and they're shooting at him, and he doesn't go down, right?
The angle that I saw that they kept showing, if he did get shot in that moment, it was like when he was right about to move off camera. So I don't know. But like none of the details really make any sense.
Right. What gets me is that the president, and like all the cabinet members, they can hear gunshots going off, and like none of them are startled,
Yeah.
you know?
Hey, sorry
Uh,
to keep you guys waiting. I'm here.
Oh shit.
I just
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry. I wasn't prepared. I was like away when you guys like started the call and stuff, so
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah, it's cool.
We were just like,
Hopefully I
shit, we
didn't-
might have to do this without tryptamine. We'll see if it comes on. But yeah, no, we literally just started talking about stuff. We were talking about the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting that happened not too long ago. But yeah, the clips were really fucking weird. Like particularly what you're talking about, Gord, with like the dog, where he's got like this canine unit, and the canine unit is like clearly trying to like signal to him that like something's wrong, and like pulling him into like the side room right before it's like at max like 20-15 feet down the hall, and you can like clearly see it's not even that far. It's not even that far at all. It's like 10-15 at most, but it's like right next to these metal detectors where there's like several Secret Service agents. And like if you have a dog and they're signaling like that, especially when it's on the job, like, hey, like something's in here, like the guy's like, no, get out of there, like, like let's go, like, why are you reacting like this? Very clearly bro is in there like doing some shit, like setting up to run out the fucking door a second later and run past the metal detectors. Like all of that was very strange, but it's hard to determine definitive things sometimes from videos like that. So I'm just gonna read some of the other details here. Go ahead and say whatever you want to say, but like once you go through the details, it's kind of like this doesn't make any sense.
Have you listened to the guy's manifesto or read the guy's manifesto?
So I've read parts of it. That's what I have here as like the first like note. The alleged manifesto dropped, and he said his motive was, quote, doing something about the administration. There's another quote here. I will no longer let my hands be stained by the blood of this pedophile, rapist, traitor.
It's based.
He was never a traitor to begin with, though. He's like always been against this country. Like
Always been
that's-
always been willing to sell out to the highest bidder.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't like shoot and kill him. That's just what I would have expected, honestly. I guess they just didn't want to riddle that place with like bullets or something, so they took him down instead.
I don't know. It's really hard to say. It's weird that he singled out Kash Patel as not being a target. That raises a lot of suspicions. I have no
Wasn't
clue.
he-
It doesn't make any sense.
Professionally, this guy was like an engineer, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So this guy is probably somewhat, well off if he's an engineer. And in the manifesto, he said that it was super fucking easy to get access to the building. All he had to do was like check in like a day before the event. Do you think that the White House and the Secret Service would be that fucking stupid?
Yes. Under Trump, yes. Because they literally they did purges. They're like, we are getting rid in like every department of anybody who will not do whatever we want or say or tell them to do. We're getting rid of
Okay.
all the people who are actually going to stand up and act professional. And a lot of the other people who are like, what the fuck? I'm not working with, like, under these conditions. Like, I'm not like, working like this. Like, this is fucked. I think a lot of those people quit. So a lot of the people who are just, like, more stupid and apathetic probably stuck around. People who are likely to, fuck up. I think, I think that there's a lot of, incompetency from the top down. And,
be very.
I think,
Sorry.
no, I was just gonna finish by saying, like, I think there's a lot of incompetency from the top down, and I think that once you see that the president doesn't give a fuck and all the people around him don't give a fuck and they're just like doing crimes,
Mhm.
you see all the other departments, like, they're all going to shit, nobody gives a fuck, everyone's doing like insider trading and doing crimes. I think people just kind of don't give a shit, and if you do, you probably get the hell out of there. And then who's
the
left?
morale is
All the
just
people who don't
inherently
care.
bad under Trump.
I would also say that
Okay.
I think the competency of a lot of these departments has been maybe overstated in the past, and now that, like, the framework that they exist within is kind of falling apart, it's all just falling apart. I don't know. It's hard to say though.
It would be very poetic if Doge was the reason that these people, the competent people, left and or got fired or laid off, and Doge
probably.
ends up killing the president. The person who was so for it, just like all the people who received like aid.
I mean, a lot of them talked about this philosophy of rage, right? Retire all government employees.
that includes Secret Service.
Yeah, I mean, they're government employees.
The president
Literally,
himself
as
is a government
result,
employee.
like, it's like as a result, he has like less security and like protection due to his own incompetency. Like,
I mean, there's so much you could even speculate on just with the Secret Service that was there during Butler. When that Thomas Matthew Crooks, whatever guy, shot him.
yeah, shot him in the ear.
We also have some Butler updates to go over quickly while we're recording this, but yeah, it is. I'll mention this too. It is really weird how Trump never talks shit about any of the people that have tried to kill him, supposedly. We never hear him talking about Crooks. We never hear him talking about any of these other people, like, pretty much ever. He never says, oh yeah, these people tried to kill me and that's why I'm introducing this new bill. He did that for Charlie Kirk, who we know for a fact died. We saw him die. But Trump is acting like somebody who hasn't been supposedly, allegedly, almost assassinated like 7 times now. And it's
Crazy
like
how many attempts there have been.
Every time it almost happens, yeah, because there's been so many attempts. It's like every time it almost happens, less and less people talk about it, less news outlets cover it.
But he will talk about Iran potentially trying to assassinate him.
Well, that's the newest one, right? Even though there's no actual like event or incident, they're just like, oh yeah, they planned to kill me, so I'm doing this. And by the way, that was cooked up by Israel and Netanyahu therein. I mean, like, it's just such nonsense.
20 minutes later.
The problem is like just toxic masculinity as a whole and how it's like affected a lot of men.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And how that was, how that was set forth by just older generations. Like, yeah, what's up?
Sure. So we mentioned Pete Hegseth. He wants to put all soldiers on TRT. Well, he didn't say all
woke.
soldiers, but yeah. Basically, you want to transition all of your men into more masculine men.
You know what the funniest thing about that is that he's basically putting all of them on gender affirming treatments.
Yes, essentially, yeah. But what I'm thinking is that they're going to do a free testosterone test on these guys, or like a total testosterone test. And if they score below like a certain number, they're going to force them, or they're going to say it's not mandatory, but it's voluntary.
Encouraged.
Wink, wink.
It's
Yeah, it's encouraged
preferred,
that you. It's encouraged that you hop on a drug that you're going to have to take for the rest of your life and get through the VA. But apparently the problem with our military is that we have too many fatties and we have too many low T soy boys.
Plus, the morale is just shit right now.
Yeah.
It's like, just look at what happened with Iran. It's like none of them wanted to, fight that. They're like clogging toilets or whatever. I mean, that part of that's a rumor, but
I just seen a story about 3 American soldiers getting fucking blown up in Iran. I think this either happened yesterday or it was just announced today or yesterday. But it may have been covered up. That's the thing too. Like so much shit is getting covered up with Iran.
Yeah, they kind of like dimmed the light on the Iran shit, I noticed.
Oh, 100%.
Well, it's bad for re-election and it's bad for the midterms, so they have to keep that quiet.
Let's get back to this. I want to get through this correspondence thing here. I'm gonna have to put the clip in a second, but one of the best like outcomes or results from the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting, because like nobody died or anything. I don't even think anybody was injured besides like a Secret Service agent who like who was shot by another Secret Service agent and the guy who like did the shooting. But what happened because the manifesto went into the news and the guy's like, oh, Trump's a pedophile, was that Trump was interviewed right afterwards. And I'm going to put the clip in a second here, but he was like whining and lashing out at the interviewer when he was asked about it because he had to explicitly deny being a pedophile and a rapist. Probably like one of the best, most insane presidential quotes of all time. I think I'm gonna have to put like the thumbnail, I'm gonna put the thing in the thumbnail where he's just like, "I'm not a pedophile," and you see the look on his face and like the subtitle and everything. It's just so perfect.
The so-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this, quote, administration officials, they are targets. And he also wrote this, I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people, horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things.
He was really like nonchalant about the shooting. He's just like, "Oh yeah, I heard gunshots, and that sounds really bad. Gonna have to get away from that."
Well, their reactions were really weird. Like nobody believes that it's real for the most part. Everyone thinks it's staged because all these Republican grifters and influencers and Twitter fucking accounts came out afterwards and they're like, "This is why Trump needs to build the ballroom. This is why Trump needs the ballroom, guys. This is what happens when you don't have the ballroom." This came right after a recent ruling, more recent at the time this happened, that determined that Trump could only build the ballroom if there was a legitimate national security reason. And this would obviously create one. But yeah, like so many people thought it was a false flag. I think a lot of people still do.
I think Charlie Kirk was a false flag because like nothing they say is consistent with like the footage.
A lot of people would probably agree with you on that.
Have you been watching the trial?
No. I mean, every time I see it pop up, I just kind of roll my eyes because we're being just blatantly fed bullshit.
I only saw the story about how Tyler Robinson was apparently like laughing maniacally in the courtroom and Erica Kirk was like crying her eyes out.
It feels, that's what I mean. It just feels like choreographed. Like
I seen a tweet the other day or I think it was yesterday or the day before. And somebody basically said, "Man, fuck Charlie Kirk. What happened to him was hilarious. It couldn't have happened to a better person. Fuck that guy." And I just read that tweet and I was just laughing so hard. I read the replies. Not one person was even trying to argue with them.
What a king.
Also, because we're touching on it, let's briefly mention, did either of you see the multiple Charlie Kirk statues that are being worked on right now?
No.
Yeah.
There's one where he looks like he's shitting himself while his mouth is full of sour Skittles. Like he looks fucked, and he's holding like a microphone and shit. It's like him right before he got domed. It's kind of crazy that they made a sculpture of that moment, but
it's gonna get vandalized.
Oh yeah, that's 100%. What everyone's saying.
Did you watch that video I posted in the Discord where it's at the 250 U.S. fair, right?
Yeah.
It's this Asian. I think she's Korean. I could be wrong, but she looks Korean.
Yes. I saw this.
And she's wearing a Charlie Kirk shirt. She barely speaks English, but she's like, Charlie Kirk, USA #1.
Yeah, there's
And
a
you just
guy
have, like-
making fun of the fairgoers. She's like, "Fuck you, you shit,
Yeah.
suck dick,
Yeah.
fuck
That
Obama."
lady rules.
It's great.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, just capping off what we're talking about with the Correspondence Dinner shooting here. It was very funny to see, as we were talking about, all the reactions. Everyone was getting clowned on for it. Pete Hegseth was like grinding his jaw, clearly on drugs. Stephen Miller was photographed like copping a feel on his wife as they were trying to like flee the scene. Pete Hegseth's wife got called out for wearing a $14 Temu dress. That was really funny. People were saying Kash Patel shit himself while he was running away.
Oh, I guess Cash wasn't informed that it was all fake.
No, he was the one guy that they didn't tell. That's why the manifesto said that he wasn't a target. Because afterwards, he's like, "What the fuck? You guys didn't tell me." And then he sees the manifesto. He's like, "Oh, I wasn't a target." Okay. And he's like too stupid to handle it, so nobody told him. Yeah, I think at one point they also claimed that like, oh, we couldn't recover the bullets that the shooter fired. I don't know if they like went back
It was
on
a
that,
shotgun
but
with slugs, right?
yeah, they were saying they couldn't find anything, like any shrapnel or pellets or whatever. I don't know if they went
That's
back on that
weird.
because this administration tends to do that shit. They'll be like, yeah, here's an obvious lie, and people are like, "What the fuck are you talking
Yeah,
about?"
they're
Like,
really wish-washy.
you want to run that
I
back,
don't know.
and then they're just like, "Oh, actually, here's the truth," and it's like another lie.
I don't know if you guys have ever shot like a shotgun with slugs before, but they leave a pretty big hole that's easy to find.
Yeah, I mean it's just pellets like scattered across.
No,
like,
no. A slug is like
Or
a
it's a-
solid.
No, yeah,
It's like a
slug is-
solid. Yeah,
It's more like a bullet,
Yeah.
right? Like
a little bit more like a bullet. Yeah, more like kind of like a musket ball.
Like a giant
But,
metal chode,
it's-
basically.
because it's made
Yeah.
for like longer range, right? Like
Yeah, I guess you could say it's more accurate, but it just tears a hole through whatever it's hitting. You know, a very visible, easy to spot
Yeah.
hole.
it's more like
Hold
for
on.
center mass aiming.
I
like-
guess.
Yes, yeah. So we have
Yeah,
some
'cause
quick.
a buck's like buck or like flechette is more like spread out. Like
Hold on. Let me find you a quick video, a reference of a guy shooting a slug and what it does. Like a 12 gauge slug.
We'll grab some water while you're doing that.
Okay. Here, it's like a 14-minute video, but you can just skip through it.
yeah, the most important
Fucking
thing is
load.
like the entry hole, like the shape of it.
Yeah. Here. I guess saying a musket ball might be a little off base. Yeah, it is more like a bullet.
Yeah,
Here.
bullet coming out of a shell. Let's see.
Yeah, but look how fucking big that is. God, why is my
Yeah.
PC shitting the bed right now?
I don't have like YouTube Premium anymore, so when I use ad block, like it kind of fucks YouTube. I have
Here,
to like
I'm gonna
refresh a lot. Okay, here we
gonna
go.
Stop watching.
Yeah, it's like a
this.
fat like entry wound.
Yeah.
One
That's
fat
like
entry wound.
that's about as big as that guy's like
Yeah, it's
the-
faint.
like- yeah, like one of his like his thumb up to the knuckle. It's pretty big.
Oh.
Wow.
Damn, the shrapnel. I guess maybe that's why there wasn't a whole lot. Or I guess, I mean, the not being able to recover the shrapnel part was maybe bullshit, but because that
Yeah, I
seems
don't
like it
believe
maybe
that.
leaves less shrapnel. But he
I've-
was picking up pieces on the ground from that. So I
I've
don't know,
shot-
like,
I've shot through like targets and I've pulled a slug out of a tree before. It's not that bad. Like I'm pretty sure they can find it.
Yeah, you shoot a slug in a enclosed space like that.
Mm-hmm.
If there's no hole, then that probably means that it like exploded. It just like
Yeah, or-
you know kind of just peeled off like the sides of it and all that shit.
Or it was a blank.
Yeah, could be. But then they probably know if they examine the firearm afterwards. Anyways,
yeah,
I'm
because
not
there would
getting
be
into the
like
weeds on it
residue,
because
like
I just think
gunpowder from a
I
blank.
just think they're fucking lying.
Yeah, well, what I'm getting at is who does the forensic work? Is it the Secret Service? Is it the
I
FBI?
don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
would
like we
assume
have
the
no
FBI.
clue. So it's like we can't. It's like we can't take them at their word,
No.
So
especially under Trump. Like,
we have some quick updates on the Butler, Pennsylvania shooting where Trump got supposedly shot in the ear or had his ear clipped by a bullet.
man, it's been 2 years now.
Yeah. Apparently the
No scar.
shooter. Yeah, that's one thing that's so weird because like there's other people who've had similar injuries and they've shown like what's happened to their ear, how it healed, and it doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah, and there's like a video of Joe Rogan asking the president, "Hey, you were shot, right?" And this was like during the campaign, I think. And I think this is when he had him on the very first time, and he asked like, "Hey, let me see your ear. Oh, doesn't look like there's any damage to it at all. It's weird."
it's
I don't know.
weird.
I'm
put it-
not an expert on like I guess wounds
Gunshot wounds.
It's specifically like in that area. Like I don't know how it would heal. So
A lot
No.
of firearms
If there would
experts
be a
have weighed in
marker.
and said, see, the thing is, a lot of firearms experts have weighed in and said that shooting doesn't make any sense. They've also said that the shooting of Charlie Kirk doesn't make any sense. So who the fuck knows what's going on?
Yeah, they said that the caliber of bullet that went through Charlie's neck would have done way more damage than what it did do.
Yeah.
And the entry doesn't make any sense. And
yeah.
Anyways, I want to mention this because this is strange. Like, there's no easy way to explain this away. So the shooter Thomas Crooks was apparently in close contact with the sheriff of Butler, Pennsylvania, just days before the shooting. The two of them were sending emails back and forth. No one knows why. No one knows what it was about because that information has been redacted. I believe there were some like Freedom of Information Act requests and some similar digging that was done. And this is like all that we've got so far because everything is just redacted. Trump personally like shut down the FBI's Butler investigation apparently after he got into office. Bongino alleges Dan Bongino, former one of the heads of the FBI, formerly. He alleges that he found files and records that the FBI had publicly claimed didn't exist or were destroyed or like lost or whatever. He then became hysterical when asked about it and refused to elaborate. He spilled the beans on Trump personally killing the FBI investigation. That's how we know about that. So, does
So
it
he could
seem
win the
suspicious
election.
at all?
It was done so his base could get riled.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
increase his voter turnout.
he gets shot and the Secret Service allows him to like get up after they've basically kind of like completely like surrounded him and covered him, and they allow him to like get up a second later and raise his fist while the photographer is kind of like line up in front of him to take a picture, and the American flag is being like lowered in behind him on like a fucking crane. Like it definitely seems like it's set up. It's very suspicious to say the
Stage
least.
propaganda.
All of this shit is so suspicious. The craziest thing would be if all of this was staged and they accidentally killed that guy that died. I don't know, man. I really don't fucking know. We have a section on like war with Iran updates here. We're gonna have to save that for its own episode. Probably, I would assume that'll be the next episode that we do.
so he kills the investigation, the FBI investigation. If this actually did happen, and this is what he says it is, why would he not use the FBI investigation in his favor to try and win the election? Why wouldn't he constantly be talking about the FBI investigation, constantly be talking about the incident?
He doesn't
I just
talk
don't
about
know.
these
Like,
guys at all.
yeah, it's like remember I'm just thinking about like the Johnny Depp trial and all
With Amber Heard.
the true crime
Yeah.
stuff that that happens that people are interested in. He was a reality show TV guy. Like he doesn't understand that something like this is like big news and it can be used in his favor to drum up publicity for him.
Dude, Trump still has more like hatred and animosity and energy for Rosie O'Donnell, who hasn't lived in America or tried to talk to Trump or anything in like years.
He's such a senile old man.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie. She lives in Ireland.
It's like,
now.
what is it? Dave Mustaine still being pissed that he got fired from from Metallica like 40 years later.
Okay. So we got to move on because there's all these like little things that we got to mention because we would have just talked about them on prior episodes and none of them are enough to like sustain episodes on their own. This is basically like the catch-up episode. We got to give updates on like the whole boat murder thing because they're still
This
doing
is still
it.
going on.
Yes, they've killed over 215 people off the coast of just South America, like Latin America, South America, in the Caribbean as well, and around it. It started last September. Doesn't seem to be slowing down.
Yep.
So they killed 215 people. To put that into perspective, that's more people than were killed trying to climb the Berlin Wall between 1961 and 1989, a period of almost 30 years. And that was literally like a militarized like checkpoint thing.
And the news reporting has been like, conveniently dimmed on it.
Well, it's like the ICE stuff. We might have some time to talk about this shit, like the continuations of what's going on with ICE. But the more it happens, the less people seem to care, and the less news outlets talk about it and cover it.
It's just buried by other stories, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we just mentioned it, so we might as well get into it here. We still have some time. So ICE is still murdering people in the streets. ICE has shot and killed 12 people so far that we know of total. That we know of. It's a very important asterisk there. Another 53 people have died in ICE custody since the start of Trump's second term. Many others have been shot with live rounds, less than lethal munitions. They've been beaten, maced, wounded in countless different ways. No figures exist, at least that I can find, on the number of people who've been wounded for life by these criminals. There's people out there who like can't see anymore because they were blinded by ICE, at least in like one eye. I seen like this person who had to have like their eye removed to get a glass eye. There's people who have like severe like organ damage and like brain damage and like all these different things from being fucking brutalized by ICE agents, and there's no fucking accountability for them. It's basically just a completely rogue department. They've been accused of lynching people in their ICE detention camps. There's like sex trafficking rings that have been run by ICE agents, where they'll just like allow people to come into the detention centers and like rape detainees. They themselves will rape detainees and like sex traffic them.
Yeah. They're also targeting kids.
Yep. Recently, ICE shot and killed multiple people in the streets of America again, including someone named Lorenzo Araujo, a family
the guy
man
who he was shot with his daughter in the
He was
car.
a family man who lived in America for 35 years and was going through the process to become a permanent resident at the time of his murder. He was pursued by ICE in unmarked vehicles on the morning of July 7th. They were attempting, apparently, to perform a traffic stop. He evaded them because he probably didn't know who the fuck they were. He's like, why is this person trying to like run me off the road or whatever? He evaded them and was subsequently shot, allegedly through the passenger side window by an ICE agent. At first, it appeared that none of the ICE agents were wearing body cams, and they claimed that none were provided for them, despite the Trump regime granting the DHS $20 million in funds for body cameras. Yes, it is bullshit, because take this in. Then it came out that they did have body cams, but they weren't turned on because the Trump administration failed to pay for the subscription service that comes with the hardware. So allegedly, they do have body cams that have been paid for out of taxpayer funds, but they're not paying for the service that comes with the hardware. So they're useless. They're not recording. There's no footage of the incident because the body cams don't work as body cams. Very deliberate. They can use them as like shitty radios apparently, but they can't actually use them as body cams. So nice. I could be getting confused with the guy that we're about to mention or the one that I just mentioned, but one of these murders, like there is literally no crime scene set up afterwards. Like there was blood on the street, like staining the sidewalk and the road, and they just had like a street sweeper come by and clean it up, and there was still blood left over. Somebody had to make like markings in the sidewalk with chalk, like this is blood. There was a murder here, just to like let people know. It's fucked up, dude. Less than a week later, on the 13th of July, ICE murdered Jean Sebastian Guerrero, a 25-year-old Colombian food delivery man in the city of Biddeford. ICE claims he wasn't even the target of their operation. Fucking idiots.
They just saw a freaking Latino man and took advantage of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
let's kill this guy.
Well, didn't the Supreme Court say that racial profiling was A-okay?
Pretty much.
God, we live in hell.
It scares me because I'm not, I think by a lot of people, a lot of white people at least, I'm not considered like the most like white passing.
Yeah,
like a lot of people think I'm like native or I'm like Latino, etc., or I'm Asian Pacific Islander, and
it's scary as fuck.
Oh, keep your social on you at all times.
That's the thing that's fucked up with these ICE agents is that there's instances of people like, hey, I'm a citizen. Here's my ID. Here's my, whatever. And they're just like, we don't care. We're taking you in.
They just aggress. Yep.
Yeah. 2 weeks later, they get released.
So this guy, Joan Sebastian Guerrero, neighbors apparently described him as a quiet, reserved gentleman. Guerrero had authorization to work in the United States and had a social security number. Look at that. Some interesting reporting just came out. Apparently, the ICE shooter asked his wife to lie and cover for his character. She refused and went to the news and apparently told them that he was abusive and had previously reported concerns to his superiors when he was in the military. So she literally went to his higher ups when he was in the military and was like, yeah, this guy's like abusive and he's a piece of shit. You guys should probably do something.
Yep.
Obviously, they did
They just-
nothing.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
Apparently,
Apparently,
military.
Apparently, the guy was also a volunteer firefighter, but he was removed after he had spats with leadership. Wow.
What a piece of shit. You have to have your wife, you have to coach your wife whenever she talks about your character.
Dude, the fact that she refused and went to the news and was like, yeah, this guy's a piece of shit.
She
That's
needs to
crazy.
She needs to divorce his ass and fucking take half of his paycheck.
But that's not all. Then on the morning of July 14th, the 28-year-old man was killed by a truck while fleeing immigration agents in St. Augustine, Florida. The man was fleeing ICE agents when he was hit by a truck. So ICE didn't directly murder him, but they are kind of responsible for his death.
Yep.
The fact that ICE
He's around like
continues,
our age range.
yeah,
He's younger than me.
I was gonna say at this point he's younger than me. Yeah. The fact that ICE continues to murder people in the street while the news is mostly silent on the matter is pretty fucking disturbing. We've warned you guys, our listeners, before in the past about ICE continuing operations on the DL, and these murders are just the tip of the iceberg. The most vigilant amongst you will recall that ICE murdered a young man in the summer of 2025 and covered it up for 6 months until it eventually all came out. I think it may have been more than 6 months, actually. How many people have been murdered by ICE only for the immigration Gestapo to cover it up and attempt to escape accountability? We may never know. After the ICE surges in cities earlier this year, primarily Minneapolis, where we saw the brutal murders of Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy, the Trump regime appeared to pull back on immigration enforcement temporarily, but that was only in regards to public announcements and acknowledgments regarding ICE, apparently, or so it seems to us. Not a single ICE agent has been held responsible for these heinous crimes, even though in some instances, such as the murder of Renee Good, we already know the identity of the killer, Jonathan Ross. The Trump regime simply refuses to hold these murderous thugs accountable, allowing them to murder law-abiding citizens regularly with impunity. Trust and believe ICE is still operating and they're still kidnapping people, throwing them into ICE camps and murdering people in the street. They have no respect for the law, they have no real oversight, and they're hiding their identities while carrying out these grotesque operations, quote-unquote, operations. They are the modern-day Gestapo, and they answer to Trump and Trump alone. The best demonstration of this authoritarian reality came right after these recent murders in the last 2 weeks, with ICE publicly claiming that after these incidents, it was pulling back from doing dangerous traffic stops. Trump heard this and within less than 24 hours of the initial announcement, posted this to Truth Social. The men and women of ICE are doing a great job, one that has to be done. Crime is way down in America, in many cases with numbers that haven't been seen in decades. The open border policy of Sleepy Joe Biden allowed 25 million people to pour into our country, unchecked and unvetted. Many were criminals, and we have to get them out. In order to do this, we must be strong, tough, and smart, and we cannot give up on one of ICE's most important and effective crime-fighting tools. I've given up on the Trump voice, whatever. Crime-fighting tools, the traffic stop. Once we do, we are playing right into the criminals' hands. The radical left Democrats, nice, would like to see this done, but it won't happen on my watch. ICE, be judicious, fair, and smart, and go back and do your very important job. Keep those crime stat records coming. Remember, you are loved and respected in America. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump.
Does he just continue to insist on trying to super serve a fringe minority of people who think that shit like this is good? Like,
so he broadly says America. It's like there's a sizable chunk of us that don't.
Yeah,
agree.
like people like he's losing significantly with younger people, like Americans under 40 years old. Like they fucking hate him, like overwhelmingly, like 90% are just like fuck Trump. And then with like independents, still like 80% of independents fuck Trump. And even like a large percent of well, not a large percent, but like I'd say like 10 to 20% of conservatives now, who aren't like super hardcore MAGA, or they used to be super hardcore MAGA, they are saying fuck Trump, but I guess not for this reason particularly,
Yeah.
more about
Gas prices, it's
yeah.
economic stuff. Like,
yeah, but still, like he's losing support on all fronts, you know. And it's so fucking sad that these ICE thugs, right? Like they have complete impunity, but then you have like the Texas ICE protesters who are just given like these 50 fucking year sentences.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
And
We'll have
they're
to talk more
accused of
about
being
that soon.
members of yeah, they were accused of being members of Antifa. Actually, I have the news, a PBS news article pulled up right now about it. If you want me to share it with you.
I would say just post it in the document somewhere. Just add it there because we'll definitely want to dive into it in more detail soon.
Here, I'm gonna post it in the Discord chat if you can
Sure.
add the document. Yeah, but a bunch of people who were protesting an ICE facility. One person became violent, but everyone got painted with the same brush. And they were all handed, you know, huge like maximum sentences just for being there. Yeah, the sentence ranged from 30 to 100 years in fucking prison. But these guys can murder people, and it's a-okay.
they have no right to protest, essentially. Straight up just authoritarian shit. Like,
It's just nonsense.
mask off as it gets.
Without going into it too much, they're basically like, yeah, you're part of Antifa. Antifa is like actually a legit terrorist organization, so you guys are supporting terrorists and disseminating terrorist material, and it was literally just like leftist zines.
Well, they want to increase the military budget, right? To $1.5 trillion. They want to pass this new budget bill, you know.
That's
for
not
the
even
military.
including the supplemental funding that they're asking for, which is like more hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, that's for the Iran war, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have that in here
but
too. It's ridiculous.
part of what they're trying to do with the $1.5 trillion military budget is they want to start policing us at home. They cite terrorists foreign and abroad. Actually, no, that's foreign and domestic. I mean,
yeah, foreign and domestic.
I keep having Keenisms. I'm sorry.
All right,
but
brother.
they cite terrorists, foreign and domestic, and they keep saying like, oh, Antifa, and you know, NPM 7, right?
NSPM
they're
7,
laying, yeah, NSPM 7. They're laying the groundwork to start just throwing the book at anyone who dissents.
Yep. Any political dissident.
Yeah, in a non-violent way.
Think about it. Most people online are posting on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok. And those are all owned by Trump associates now. Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Larry Ellison, all these people, they're all in Trump's pocket. They all essentially cuck themselves to him. So, yeah, like it's the alignment that has happened in the last several years is absolutely insane.
Dude, Facebook is scary. Like, they have people's like biometric data.
Yeah, it's horrifying. I always think
I
back.
don't post on there anymore.
I always think back to that Mark Zuckerberg quote from when he first, I think it was before he started Facebook or just when he started Facebook. Because before Facebook, there was that like weird, like local hot or not thing he made for his university that inspired Facebook, which was basically just like rating women on campus. And people gave him like login information and personal information and all this shit. And somebody asked him like, yo, people like gave you all that information? Like, what the fuck for your website? And he's like, yeah, they're fucking stupid. Like, that's what Mark Zuckerberg directly said about it. Like, so that's how he views you as like a user of any of his
pure
products.
evil.
Like, you're a fucking idiot. You gave me your personal information. I'm going to sell it. Fuck you. You're a dumbass. Now I'm going to exploit you. Yeah, he's a fucking piece of shit. All these billionaires, tech elites, they're all fucking basically like demons or ghouls. They're all fucking awful, horrible.
They
just
want you
monstrous
to die.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't think not enough people realize that.
If they could press a button and you would die and they wouldn't have to see it or deal with it, but they get money for it, they would do it. They would press that button every second of the day and just keep pressing it.
Well, they kind of do, if you think about it. And
that's why I made that analogy, yeah, because that's what they did.
That's why I love that one GTA 5 mission where you take out that guy.
Life Invader, yeah.
Yeah. That's aged like fine wine. Holy shit.
He answers the phone and it just explodes his head.
Is GTA 5 discounted on Steam right now? I never played the main story.
I don't know if it is right now, but I mean, you should just wait till a sale. And I mean, since you have since you have a new rig, get the frickin' I mean, I think the enhanced ray
It's
traced version comes with it, so
it's the enhanced version is $15 right now.
Not bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you
comes
should
with the
get it.
DLC. Yeah, I should get it.
if you want to
Dude.
play it, yeah.
Playing
Hell yeah,
Frontiers
I
of
wanna play it.
Pandora with my new GPU was fucking mental. Like, that game is crazy. Probably one of the most visually impressive games when you crank the settings.
Shit, I'm buying this right now. Install.
GTA 5, let's go. Let's talk
It's
about one
kinda-
more thing before we head out here. Sorry,
The
go
file
ahead, Trip.
size is bloated.
Yeah,
Like it's so much larger than the
how
than
bad
the
is it?
standard.
It's I'm looking at 120 gigs for Grand Theft Auto V Legacy, and for Grand Theft Auto 5 Enhanced, it's 96.
Oh, it's actually smaller. Damn. Yeah,
So-
it is.
So, would you say 120 and 90?
Yeah, 120 and
Yeah.
96.
No, yeah, I was
So,
wrong.
so it's like 215, 220 gigs total. Damn.
Yeah, I'll
Enhanced.
uninstall
I
some
think
games.
You don't have to install the legacy.
Oh, you only have to install the
Version-
enhanced. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not
Wait,
that
what
bad.
the fuck? I didn't have it installed. Shit. I thought I had it installed, but I think I fucking uninstalled it. But whatever.
I made the
My-
decision to uninstall Delta Force the other day because every time it updates, it's so bloated. And I just checked it, and it updated a bunch of the maps for one mode, and it added another 26 or 27 gigabytes. So I looked at it, and it
Oh
was like
my God.
187 gigabytes total. And I'm
That's
what
like
the I was like, what the fuck, dude? This is a live service game that has like 6 or 7 like extraction shooter maps, and then like maybe a dozen warfare maps, like, and then it has a campaign that has like several small linear maps. Like, there's no reason this game should be fucking almost 200 gigabytes. I just uninstalled it. I'm like, fuck this.
that's I think modern COD games are that size now.
Yep. No, it pisses me off, dude. And I only have one. I have my 1 terabyte SSD and then my boot SSD, which is like half a gig. So I don't have that much
Oh.
space.
Someone
Damn.
tried explaining to me why games were so large now. I think it's accessing resources and the speed of trying to access something. Like all these files are no longer they're no longer compressed.
No, I
and,
was about to say,
decompressed,
yeah.
right?
They don't give a shit about compressing textures and things like that because they know people have like 1-2 terabyte hard drives now. So they're just like,
Yeah.
okay, well, we don't have to like ship this product on a disk, so we don't have to worry about storage. You know, the average person has like all this storage space now, so fuck it. Let's be real. A lot of fucking dorks out there are like playing one of 2 games. They probably have like, you know, like COD installed in Fortnite, and that's it. So the game could be like 200-300 gigabytes and they don't even notice. Oh man. Anyways, let's get back to this because I just want to talk about one more story before we head out. We've been getting off track, but it's understandable because we haven't all got together and had a chat in a while. It's been overdue.
I was talking about getting magic mushroom chocolate offline. Yeah, I know you guys up
I've
in
been
the great north.
I want to get like psychedelics. I just don't, I haven't had the connections, so
Oh well,
yeah.
I was saying, like in your neck of the woods, I think like there are places where you can just buy offline. You can just buy like edible
Bro,
chocolate.
where I'm at, there are literally like stores where you can just go and buy like mushrooms in person.
Yeah,
I think they
It's,
legalized
it's
like
crazy.
psilocybin therapy here in northwestern Oregon, or just broadly in Oregon.
well, what I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm just going to buy some spores offline, and I'm just going to do some
Grow 'em.
research. If you get what I get, if you
just be
get what I'm,
careful. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew someone who grew them, but I don't know if he had success because I just didn't see him for ages after. But that guy had like a horrible like drug habit, so
yeah. It's a cartoon about how evil big pharma is, and it hits the nail on the head.
they literally just milk people who are like addicted to pills.
Yeah.
Yep.
But basically, like the plot of the show is, hey, what if there was a drug that could cure any illness, and it just happens to be a magic mushroom that's like growing in turtle shit in Peru. And this guy, he finally finds the mushroom, and he's trying to figure out how to grow the mushroom. But the circumstances to grow the mushroom are just so complex that eventually he figures it out. But once he does and he starts growing the mushroom, he realizes like, hey, all these pharmaceutical companies and like the government, they're trying to fucking murder him because one drug that can cure all illness, like that just ruins certain parts of the economy. Like you would no longer have legal drug dealers or AKA pharmaceutical companies anymore ever. It's a pretty good show.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be interesting. I don't know. I feel like that part of it would kind of annoy me though, because I feel like that's what every fucking moron says. And they're like, this guy figured out how to make a car run off milk, and then the government killed him.
Yeah,
it's,
it's very hippy dippy. But if you can get past that part, like the main character is just a caricature of a hippie.
Yeah, my problem more would just be like the premise is kind of dumb. Like I'm not trying to necessarily shit on it, but like the idea of like a substance that can cure any illness like the concept of that is just like I can't suspend my disbelief. Like it's just too nonsensical.
I was watching it with my lady, and she was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Yeah." And these are the people who make cancer drugs. You know, these are the people that we task to help cure cancer. They're not going to cure cancer. You know, they're gonna.
I mean, the pharmaceutical execs don't cure cancer, but I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to ban mildly cold plastic?
Isn't it crazy that Cuba has a lung cancer vaccine before we do? Isn't that strange?
I've meant to look into that more. I can't really say anything about it because I haven't looked into it more, but
so I posted something in chat. It's apparently Cuba developed a therapeutic lung cancer immunotherapy, and it targets cancer cells in the lungs, and it basically starves the tumors. So it's not a vaccine per se, but it is a very effective way of treating lung cancer.
Extremely effective lung cancer treatment. Okay. No, that's pretty cool. I was thinking about that because, not to cut you off again, but my bad. But I was just thinking, like, how do you produce a vaccine against lung cancer? Because, like, I don't think a vaccine would necessarily work like that. Cancer isn't something that your body, like, catches, but that makes sense,
Apparently, it is available through clinical trials in the United States.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, but it's not out now. And I guess AI is calling it a vaccine approved by Cuba and several other countries.
My God.
Well, AI sucks balls.
The more I think about, like, I don't like my perception of like AI 3 years ago compared to now is just so different. Like I'm pissed at this shit. Like I hate hearing the music. Like I was like watching this one streamer play games, and you know, like he's pretty cool and all, but then he plays the AI music in the background, and this dude is like bobbing his head to this shit. I'm just like, man, God fucking damn it. Yeah, or I'm hanging out, you know, with my brother and, you know, his buddies, and we're doing some, you know, pedal boating, right? And he starts playing music on his phone, but I was pretty sure, I'm pretty sure some of it was AI music, so I don't know. I'm just, yeah, it sounded like
hacked. Did either of you hear about that?
No.
Some pretty interesting revelation.
I'm sick of this fucking AI shit, like seeing it, hearing it, like
same.
I like when I hear that I don't know. I hear AI music, I literally want to die. Like I'm
tired of the ads, like the Google ads for AI, because sometimes I look up tech videos, and these are targeted ads towards people like me, you know, who do like coding. And they want you to use Copilot so fucking bad. They want you to
or Gemini or whatever,
I'll just pull up Copilot or Chat GPT and just say stupid shit to it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fart in my cat's face. What do you think about that? It's like, you shouldn't do that, actually. That's harmful to the cat. It's like, fuck off. Stupid fucking clank.
Hold on. I'm gonna do that to Gemini right now.
Tell it.
I'm gonna hold my cat down and fart right into its nose. What do you think about that, Gemini?
What do you think about that? Let's see what they say. It says,
Loading
honestly,
response.
your cat is going to think it's a biological weapon attack. Hold on. My cat
Yeah,
actually liked
sometimes it
it.
tries to like, I don't know, throw in some like normie humor in there, like
A cat
it
said it
just goes.
smelled great.
It'll just make like Reddit jokes. It'll try to like be
Yeah,
in
that's
on
the
the joke with
worst.
you.
Well, this
stupid.
right? Yeah, but it does it in such like an autistic way. Like now the AI is trying to tell me why my cat potentially likes the smell of my farts. It's saying the scent matrix. Cats communicate heavily through scent. The warmth
Scent
factor.
matrix!
Cats are cats are
Going into
notoriously
yeah,
obsessed with
podcast
warmth.
mode, like
Neo
Pure
must sniff the
curiosity.
farts.
Cats are drawn to strong smells. Whoa.
Whoa. I
So
know
should I
stank
fart in
food.
my cat's face more often? Winky face?
Yeah, no, you're totally right with what you said about all of the AI having like Reddit speak now. Like you mentioned
Yeah.
something like bacon, and they're like, "Oh man, bacon, that's so epic, dude." It's like, shut the fuck up.
Well, all of
Fuck
this
you, fuck
AI
off.
uses Reddit posts as like part of its training, and they use it as their sources that they'll link
yeah.
and search through, which
But
is
to have a
it
bacon
makes
and
that
cheese sandwich, what do you think
horrifying.
about that,
Right.
Gemini? And it's like, time for an epic mealtime, methinks. It's like, shut up.
Yeah, literally.
Hold on, Gemini. Should I pour catnip in my ass and fart catnip into my cat's face?
This is basically where Rusty spends all of his time doing.
Yeah.
Like Rusty spends
They're
time
just-
doing this and also chatting with like Indian guys on OF pretending to be women. Gemini is trying to tell me the risks of shoving catnip in my ass right now. Internal irritation and infection of
You
my
dry
asshole.
out. You dry out your ass. Like,
It's gonna say I'm gonna have to go to the emergency room.
All right.
boofing.
We're
Okay,
so off
sorry.
track. We still have one thing to talk about. So before we end this recording session, this beautiful chaotic recording session, we have to talk about one last thing quickly here. We have to talk about Trump attempting to sue the IRS and getting the government to give him a $2 billion slush fund. So over the last several months, Donald Trump enacted a sinister plan to create what would have been potentially the most brazen slush fund of all time. Excuse me. Donald Trump enacted a sinister plan to create what would have been potentially the most brazen slush fund of all time, and he failed. Here's what he did. First, he sued the IRS over one of their employees leaking his tax returns several years ago. By the way, that person was given the maximum sentence of 5 years in prison for what they did when they leaked his tax returns, so that person was held accountable. Trump, however, saw this as a golden opportunity and sued the IRS for $10 billion, a completely ridiculous amount that only served as a highball for the eventual predictable settlement, which was recently announced to be in the amount of $1.776 billion. Trump had apparently been told that accepting this taxpayer money after effectively suing himself was not a good look, so he opted to set up a fund instead. He called it the Anti-Weaponization Fund, to hear and redress claims of others who claim to be victims of political targeting or prosecutorial abuse. Unfortunately for the Trump admin, the news of this brazen corruption and graft caused immense controversy and scrutiny for weeks, and they were forced to scrap the whole thing, particularly after the Republicans themselves revolted against it, finally finding a hard line. Regardless, news is starting to emerge indicating that Trump, his family, and his cronies have already stolen over $250 million through shell companies that were awarded lucrative no-bid contracts by the admin. By mid-July, a judge had finally voided the $1.776 billion settlement and struck down the Anti-Weaponization Fund. The judge also struck down Trump and his family's attempts to gain IRS immunity. Did either of you hear about this when it came out? They were trying to like shield themselves from ever being audited ever again. And the judge was just like, no, obviously you can't do this. Like they would have been able to get away with tax fraud until the day they died if that was the case. But thankfully they failed at that. Just absolutely fucking ridiculous that any of this is being discussed publicly though. Kind of just don't know what to say beyond like, that's crazy. But what else is new with Trump and this fucking administration? This regime, I should say.
They're just fucking brazen. It's like,
Yeah, that's the
I
best word,
think
really.
They could get away with that. Yeah.
Brazen really is the best word to describe it. kind of mind blowing that this is just like what's in the news every day now, and people are just like, "Yep, yeah, this is what's going on."
Yeah,
Wasn't
just
part-
accept it. Like,
Wasn't part of this he also was trying to never be audited ever again.
Yeah, I
like,
mentioned that
his
at the
tax
end there.
returns and shit.
Him and his family. They were saying him and his family. So like
And
Jared
his
Kushner,
family.
Ivanka, Melania, Don Jr. and Eric Trump. Yeah, he was trying to say that like all of them could never be audited again. That was like part of what he was trying to do. And the judge was like, "No, you
Insane.
can't do that.
Okay.
it's like royal aristocracy shit. Like,
You have to let us do tax fraud for the rest of our lives." All right, back to the catnip part. Hold up. My cat is trying to climb into my ass now, and the AI says, "All right, joke's over. Time to wrap up the bit. Whether this is
That's
the
all.
wildest setup for a stand-up routine you've ever tested, or you're just leaning heavily into the chaos, we've definitely hit the absolute ceiling of this conversation. Put some pants on, put the catnip back in the cupboard, and let's leave the feline anatomy lessons right here."
No, I'm gonna keep shoving catnip in my ass, and my cat's gonna keep pawing at it, trying to get in there.
it said that the closest match to Jared's hair is a textured pompadour.
Oh, what?
A textured pompadour.
No.
I looked it up. I'm just like, nah.
Yeah, no. I'll be coding sometimes, right? And I'll be thinking like, okay, I'm gonna try and give Gemini an example of what I'm trying to do. So I'll type out some like I'll type out some like boilerplate like fake pseudocode and ask like, hey, is this syntactically correct? And it will tell me, yeah, no, but you could do this better. But then it'll give me some shit that I know is wrong, and I'll be like, I'll have to argue with it and be like, well, you mean to do this instead, right? And it's like, oh, you're absolutely correct. Good eye catching me trying to fuck
Yep.
up your code base.
It's such a sycophant.
Yeah.
just a picture of Jared with the bottom half of his face cut off. He's just dying.
Can you ask AI if he's trying to culturally appropriate hairstyles from like, because this looks like a kind of like a black person haircut if you think about it, right?
Like he's trying to copy a fro, or like,
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
I guess so. It's kind of like a broccoli top. Like,
Just ask AI. Just ask the AI. Do you think this person is employed? Does this person look
Honest-
employed to you?
ChatGPT's like, honestly, no.
have a
I'm sorry, like the amount of derailment. But Wiz, the reason like we derail so much, right, is because like all this shit that we talk about is just so fucking depressing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
every once in a while, I just want to
We gotta
talk
lighten up.
ChatGPT.
We're done
and
with
ask-
that for a while. Yeah, we're done. We're done with that until the next episode. Yeah.
it just told me it's not possible to tell from a photo.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Whatever, dude.
It's like, no, you're being judgmental.
Fucking. I love how there's like all these ideas of back in the day, like 1990. They're like, what's the year 2026 gonna look like? And they have all these like, like flying cars and jetpacks and this and that. It's like, no, we have this crap that they call AI, but it's not like HAL 9000 or it's not like any of these other like artificial intelligences in fiction. No, it's just some stupid computer that's like, you're just like, I'm gonna shove my cat into my dick hole, and it's like, excuse me, that's not physically impossible, actually. It's like, thanks for telling me that. Thanks for letting me know. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it'll be like the weirdest little sycophant, but then in other moments it'll be like, I don't think that's actually true. I think that you're doing a comedy bit. It's like, all right, dude.
Yeah,
Thanks for your
no.
input. Thanks for your valuable fucking insight, ChatGPT.
Yeah. So, what if I actually was trying to shove a cat in my ass? Like, shouldn't you try and call like the police? Come on.
No, dude. There's too many people fucking with ChatGPT for it to have a built-in call the
it's
police
caught on-
function.
It's caught on to the patterns that have been fed to it via different prompts. Like,
Oh yes, I recognize this copy pasta from Reddit.
I was just gonna say this is how people end up killing themselves after talking to these
Yep,
chat
yeah.
robots.
because it gaslights like the fuck out of them, especially if
Yeah.
they're like kind of more impressionable, right? Like, let's say they're 13.
Oh yeah,
they're, like,
it's,
super
very
mentally ill.
It's
disturbing.
like kind of it's like, I don't know, like really like young kids. I don't know if they should be like using this shit. Like,
Nobody should be using this shit.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, it's completely useless. All right. Well, another one in the bag. Thank you both for coming out. I was a little worried earlier, Trip, that you weren't going to make it, but it's nice
I'm
to have you on
sorry.
as always. No, it's all good.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's fun just chilling, like chatting about shit. We have to catch up on some stuff, so I mostly just use it as an opportunity to catch up on like the disparate stories we hadn't talked about yet.
Like I said, like all these stories are just such a fucking downer, you know. But it's
They
just
are.
whenever we get off topic, then it's like the fun happens.
Yeah, we have
The funny thing is like
Like
we barely even talked about the more fucked up stuff tonight. But I do want to leave in more of the banter though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the banter like just gives it like character. Like,
Oh yeah, there were some funny ass moments. I don't want to necessarily cut those. Oh, excuse
Okay.
me.
Cool, y'all. I gotta bounce, dude.
Awesome.
I'm gonna go eat.
Thank you both for coming out. Y'all have a good one. Peace out. Let's do it again soon.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace, Trip. Peace, Gore.
Peace
See
out.
y'all later. Have a good one, folks.